Hey, traders. Welcome to episode 872, I think, of the show. Could be doing anything, but you're here. And, a lot of stuff been going on today across the markets. A lot of selling. A lot of craziness going on. Bitcoin was part of that, right? Almost down like 4%. You know, like any move up you had from the first big bearish engulfing candle, it's all back. You're right back where you started. So it's just a good old 5 days of nothing. Alright, just like, set up for altcoins maybe on the 4 hour. None of it will matter if Bitcoin fails. Bitcoin failed. Everything else failed. Go figure, right? What a market. S&P 500 failed. Dow Jones failed. Everything else failed with it. I mean, like, all 11 sectors of the S&P 500 were in the red today. No gainers. I mean, you just, in like individual assets, few and far between in the green today, with Gilead and Regeneron being two anomalies. And then, of course, you had gold, which is currently sitting at 1657. Did a static video today to go into a lot of those sectors, and Bitcoin and gold. So, alright, so it's like in the past 93 years, I heard this stat today. In the past 93 years, the S&P 500 has dropped 5% in a day 222 times. Alright, out of all 222 of those times, the follow through price action, the eventual bottom on all those was around 12%. So that would lead you to believe that the selling's not done. Though you might get a, small rally on the stock market, we could see follow through. But that wasn't anything different than what we thought last week when Thursday and Friday happened. It's like, yeah, dude, probably Monday it's going to be bad, and it was real bad. I mean, we're talking the Dow Jones at a slow, it dropped over 1,000 points, and that's the third time in history ever that the Dow Jones dropped that much. So big deal. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of people freaking out. And then this morning on the dump, there was some sort of attempted rally. It was terrible. It was nothing. There were no buyers, really. So again, we could see more selling tomorrow on the stock market. Bitcoin, I mean, if you close where you are right now, it'll be the first confirmed daily candle close outside of this channel that's been in development for, all of 2020. That's not good, right? And it'd be a bearish engulfing candle again, right? Another consecutive lower high. And we do know, right, based on Fibonacci retraces between 8,000 and 8,950, there's definitely going to be more perceived value down here if Bitcoin's ever able to get down there, right? Well, cool. I mean, hidden bullish evidence. Okay, well, eventually, if Bitcoin falls below 9150, it won't be hidden divergence anymore. But until that happens, it's real. Okay, where you just have a swing low and then a higher low. I don't care how long it lasts, and a higher level of negative momentum like this. I mean, when's it going to start waning? We haven't seen positive momentum on Bitcoin on the daily since Valentine's Day. Will you be my Valentine, Bitcoin? Get wrecked. The digital currency says. Oh yeah. So just zooming out. Much larger channel here. The correction in the last seven months versus this one that's only lasted, I would say, 2 months. 2 months, dude. All right, I mean, you hit a really critical zone of resistance, right? Where if you broke it, if it wasn't for all this new consolidation, you probably would have just busted the upside like last time because there was nothing there. But, all of 2019, manufactured new support resistances were built, and they also strengthened resistances over here. So, I mean, look where we are on Bitcoin. Right, you're below everything. You're below all three. Right, the settle up area that day, April 24th, settle up date May 5th, and the wick. That's like the zone. All right, really the major peaks, and you're again below it, and seeing lower prices wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world, just based on what we know about fibs. We know based on perceived value with Fibonacci. Okay, falling below this, I mean, and if it's confirmed and you really get some volatile price action, you could see 8,500 at some point, which is the 50% retrace. And we know about the 50% retrace, which is part of the the Dow theory. And the Dow theory states after an impulse up, you must commonly retrace halfway, 50%, before pivoting and running again to the upside. Because people would say, hey man, there's a 50% sale on this asset after a huge run up. Maybe it could continue on at that level. These levels would be looking for some really nice, if we can get down there, we'd be looking for some really nice, like, bullish divergence, some pattern development, something. You love how half of the community only comes when it's pumping. Yeah, that's the you're right, literally. That's how it goes. Welcome to I mean, I get it in a way, right? But I've said before, I think most people that participate in this market, they don't short, they only long. So it makes a lot of sense, right? Sorry, saving something, I have to do this every time. Okay. Mother of God, thanks for the over 100 likes in 12 minutes. Y'all are amazing. Good God. Please change music. It's just like, dude, you know how many times people say, please change music when I have on progressive house, man? I mean, it should be not even loud enough for you to complain about it, Like, you know what? I'll just turn on, like, I'll just monetize and turn off all music, and we can just do it with nothing. I mean, I guess, because I can't please everyone. You can just play your own music in the background. Would y'all like that? I mean, I can definitely do that. I'll take, like, a survey on what y'all want to do. Shout out Charles Dow. Big ups. Big ups to Liquid Gartley. Okay. Okay, so if we want to, I mean, I feel like I'm just doing a static video over again, right? I mean, I did one today. Here's the huge move down. Yeah, it closed off its session lows, but not much. I think it got a little bit higher, but then just in the last 30 minutes of trading on the day, it did sell off kind of weak. So it filled a gap. Filled the gap. When it probably should have dumped the first time. I don't know what happened. Shake everyone out. Get everyone, like, long again. Then it's doing this. Okay, because, like, dude, it had all the divergence needed. But somehow some stupid miraculous rally. And now you filled one gap, you've skipped one gap. I mean, this gap is there, 3,300 or so. But on the S&P 500, a high on price, a higher high on price, bearish divergence on the RSI, not on the MACD anymore, which could be confusing, right? It was like bullish convergence. But I get it for sure. All right, so exceeding the 1618, you were really overextended, and this thing. Let's just Fibonacci this real quick, just from the lowest low, like this low down here, this October. You know what? Let's just go from you can see it discernibly, right? This kind of connected a little bit. How far have we retraced from just that low, August 2019, to the high? Well, you've exceeded a 23% retrace. Okay, common retrace areas, 3,042 to 3,176. Okay, so these are areas where market participants might perceive value. As you can see, at a golden retrace, which was previous all-time highs, we could always come back to test that. I mean, that's pretty. I mean, the 618 is pretty confluent with that horizontal line resistance. Okay, so there are also gaps down here too, man. Like, look, a gap at 3119, another gap at 3094, right? That's near the 50% retrace. So viable areas, and you're not oversold on the daily, though I know you are on the 4 hour, just not yet. You're just sitting in bearish territory, 37, 36, and as I discussed, on all the 5% drops in a day on the S&P 500 since 1927 or something like that. I mean, 93 years. It like very, very rarely stops at 5% and then rallies again. It normally drops on average to 12%, right? Okay, leading one to believe more selling would come in this week. We will see, PPT. It's in your hands now, right? I mean, Gartley's gap theory, Mike Lamb, if you want to look into it. It's like a vacuum, man. Like, people don't like gaps. They are filled. There are 3 different types of gaps on the stock market that I go into. I've gone into multiple times streaming before. It's on the Patreon if you want the clip. It's there, man. And so something happened, I think, after hours with MasterCard. They came in and augmented their guidance, and so they're now down like after hours, like they missed on earnings or something. And they're, augmenting it for all the coronavirus stuff. So this stuff, I mean, it might just be the beginning of this pullback. And dude, it would be good. It's like in just August of 2019, man. That's not very long ago. This thing appreciated 20% in value. So what's wrong with losing half of that, before showing some bullish indications, bullish signs or something, before reversing the upside again? Okay. Dow Jones, disgusting, right? Closed down $1,031. I really like this one because the channel was so well respected. I don't care about the upthrusts. Upthrusts happen all the time, but you could just never really stay outside of it. And then the more divergence came around, and that was it. Broke a demand line. Right, that velocity of buying's over, and almost, closed pretty close to session lows on this one. This was worse than the S&P. I think this is like the worst, collectively, for the whole stock market, worst in 2 years. But if we're talking about individual indexes, you're talking about the Dow Jones had its worst day in 2 years, and then the S&P had its worst day, I think, since maybe was it August of 2019 or something? Because there was a couple bad days. So what's the bottom of the channel? That's way down at like 27,100 or so, depending on how long it takes you to get there. Moving target, right? 200-day moving average is also around there. Gap fills abound. Gap fill at 27,738. Gap fill at 27,500. The gap fill's all over, dude. Okay. Good God. Warren Buffett says not to buy or sell this corona crash news. Dude, a 5% drop plus whatever. That's not a crash. It's just violent selling that maybe a lot of people aren't used to because of how inflated prices have become, how overwhelmingly bullish this market is and it has become. So, yeah, 5%, 10% pullback. What we're talking about, 12%. That's where we're looking. That's where historically we start getting rallies in these uptrends, okay? Warren Buffett is believed to have 50% cash holdings just waiting for days like this. Yeah. But again, man, you want to look at those stats and know that you are kind of catching a falling knife. Right, you're not using any kind of technical analysis to take along. You're just, yeah, whatever, dude. Huge down day, just buy it. Okay, so then it rallies tomorrow and you're not actively managing it and you just want to swing trade or whatever. Okay, it rallies up tomorrow at open and then just starts dumping again near the close on high volume, right? It's always best to look for divergence and a reason to buy on the charts if you know how to read them, versus just saying, hey man, there was a big down day today in the past few days, time to buy now, right? Yeah, it's bad, but it's not really that bad. Again, I think it's more so people are just not used to it. This late stage of the cycle. It's been going on almost 11 years now. Crazy. All right, so I guess we can switch it over. Let's just go to gold real quick, since we looked at Bitcoin, S&P, Dow Jones. Now we can look at gold. We're getting that a well-rounded stream in. Okay, looking at all of them. It's very good. All right, so gold, man. You know, just last week when we were starting to run to the upside, the next target was 1640. You broke it, you've exceeded it, and you had a really nice run all the way up to 1689, where there's just not much of really any resistance between 1640 and 1791, where I do think that gold will go in time. Don't know if you come to back test and hold and consolidate here before running higher. Mysteries abound. You would think that if more selling came in tomorrow on the stock market, that gold might inverse correlate with that, run to the upside, right? 7-year highs today on gold, all the way back February of 2013. Mother of God, man.
Bruh.
So again, dude, like where you're above, right? Look at the historical price action between 1640 and 1791. Straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, right? That's where it's probably going, chat. Just saying. History's on our side, the trend's on our side for that. Okay, hype in the chat for gold. Beautiful. This and Gilead. There's the only thing that did well that was in my portfolio that was green. My God, man, pretty awful for everyone. Thought about protected puts on Friday, just knowing about what the market would do, what it might do today, but I didn't pull the trigger on it, just because who knows with this stupid Trump rally PPT stuff. Like, oh God, anyway, yeah, it was bad. Bloody Monday. That's right, bonds are at record lows. Global slowdown imminent. Oh yeah, and that's been there, Scott. I mean, these variables you're talking about aren't new, really, right? That's every quarter, man. You know, Europe gets weaker and weaker. Germany's like screwed, like recession in Germany. Oh, and you know what's scary? Yesterday was a Japanese like holiday, where it was the emperor's birthday, so the markets were closed on the Nikkei. And that market's opening soon because Asia's waking up. So that's going to be really interesting. What's Asia going to do with the craziness that occurred today? It could be the perpetuity that leads us into more selling tomorrow in the U.S. and stock market, New York Stock Exchange, whatever. Yeah, people have been talking about the Simpsons Bitcoin. Is it really like a Simpsons episode with Bitcoin at the centerpiece? That's pretty cool. I might watch that. I don't watch that show, but I used to when I was like really young. I just don't watch it. So is it worth, you think? Let me know. So I was reading a little chat now. Okay, good to see all you. Elliot, Leonard, Seth, Dominus, Mr. Chicken. So Mrs. G, Coiner, Sleepy Cat, MK Man. Glad you're here, dude. It's pretty wild, right? Hey, PPT, where were they today, MK Man? They just couldn't do it. Yeah, we can look at the Bitcoin futures gaps. Sure, dude. I mean, they've been like filled on the top side. Weirdly enough, let's take a gander on the big screen. Okay, where you got the clear breakout, the dragon, whatever. We got gaps. 11,940. I think like you had a gap at 10,495, and that last little scrubby lower high propelled prices higher intraday just for traders to hit that, the wick before pulling back, and then a gap down, and then we gapped up, and now we filled the gap, right? So I guess you could say at this point there's still a gap right here that needs to be filled now. Let's just move this one since the other one's filled. So you'd say that's a gap at 10,220 that has not been filled, but you can also argue that there's a gap that hasn't, for the most part, been filled or traders settled up, not the wick, right? That's the thing about gaps. You got to understand that. Like where traders settled up here, 8,500, that is also a gap that has not been filled. hard to. I hate that though. You can't really see. I'll just try to put it like a little bit above it. But you get it, right? Where the traders settled. 8,500, 9,065, 76.25, all gaps to the downside. But again, you also have multiple gaps to the upside. This has been a really nice run, but you gotta hate the kind of performance today from Bitcoin. It did not act as a hedge, and that's okay. It makes sense. It's a speculative market, and Bitcoin's not supposed to be a hedge against equity sell-offs. It's not. And Bitcoin, if you're gonna look at it like anything, you look at it as a hedge against the entire system as we know it. That's it. It's not supposed to be a hedge against gold. But one thing you'd think about is the US dollar, right? It would, because it's, you know, Bitcoin's tied to the US dollar, you'd think that those would inverse correlate, and sometimes it does. And speaking of the US dollar, here it is. All right, it's been in this just crazy uptrend, hit multi-year highs, last week, and has since pulled back just after doing that. Big bearish engulfing candle, indecision today. I mean, no divergence. I don't even know if it seems like it does respect the TA in a lot of ways. I mean, it shows divergence on both sides and they play out. It shows patterns and they play out. So, I mean, you can say whatever on it respecting patterns and divergence and just TA. So I'm just like looking at this like I would any other traditional market asset, right? So pullback, right? You'd think that just low to high we could retrace. But remember though, the thing about the US dollar, wow, from that high to low, that next real resistance, you kind of hit it. It was like this peak back from 2016, January 2016, but right above that's $100, 38 cents or so. Confluent with a 78% retrace from that high to low. So you're getting into deep retraces, right? Areas of value for people going short, if this is traded like a traditional asset. So you're in deep territory. Very little value if you're looking at it like that. Okay, US dollar, 99.29. How am I going to say Bitcoin isn't a hedge? Did you see what happened to Bitcoin today Did you see what happened to Bitcoin like today? You saw what it did on Friday, right? Stock market dumped on Friday. Bitcoin, I think, moved to the upside a little bit or something. And then today, tons of selling on the stock market. Pretty good amount of selling on Bitcoin. It's not a hedge, dude. It's not. Gold is unreal. No, it's very real. 92.5. It was 6 years in a range. Yeah.
USA. In Regeneron, we trust.
We trust Regeneron. We love you, man. Sweet mother of Jesus. Exceeding an 88% retrace today, acting like nothing even happened. $425.38 on the close, up 5.5%. And it all started with the shark. The shark, baby. The falling wedge, the bullish divergence, the coinciding variables. Biotech. But look at this pullback before running again. Be careful here, because it could be some X, A, B, C stuff going on. And we'll see with our fib extension from the high to low where we are. We're at a 1414 fib extension, right? We have hit that like perfectly. Remember, a 1414, that's the tip top of what a cipher can be. So you definitely want this to keep going to invalidate that chance of it being a 1414 peak where it sells off tomorrow. That volume is insane, dude. You'd think maybe it won't. You don't know, but good God, look at this. Highest amount of volume Regeneron has seen since May of 2018. Aye, very good. Grubman. Jason J, thanks for the sub, dude. Thanks. And thank you, Grub, dude. I mean, American contribution. Let's go. Who said it? It's definitely uncorrelated. That's the whole... What the heck, dude? Like I said that. It's like it it is a hedge against the entire system as we know it, meaning it's not correlated. Like, yeah. All right, so that's cool. The daily's cool, but the coolest thing about, was it the monthly, dude, that was amazing, or the weekly? I think it was the freaking, yeah, the monthly, something else. Triple MACD, bullish divergence, a little bit of RSI, divergence class C, whatever. Remember, like, class C does not signify impending price action reversal to the upside, but it can be used as a bullish ingredient, or maybe it doesn't. But what if your other oscillator is showing the real class A bullish divergence? It would probably strengthen the argument for your entire trade plan, right, on that one. So anyway, huge bullish engulfing, or close enough to an engulfing candle on the monthly. We don't have much time left. So approaching the supply line, you very well could see that around $450, Kevin, man. Let's see if we can hit that supply line. Not bad, dude. Very good. What's up, Philip, dude? Thanks for the sub, dude. Glad to have you, man. Okay, so the other one, right? The other Kang in Biotech today that you just almost can't even believe it. It took a long on a breakout.
On behalf of all of us, thank you for being here and teaching so much. 3.000000000 link.
Dude, Mr. Hendrickson, dude, thanks for the 1171 of Link, the crypto contribution, man. Feel like I'm playing Zelda right now. Thank you, dude. Holy crap. Hype in the chat for Kevin Grubb and Mr. Hendrickson. Okay.
Hype in the chat!
Okay, so the other one, man, had it interesting look on it. Okay, let's just pull it up on the daily. Gilead. I put this in the portfolio a couple weeks ago because of the breakout. Dude, look at this, man. It's just like this range. But look at the downtrend you were in for years. You got out of it. Then you started painting these slightly higher lows and stuff. It was just like, dude, I remember Gilead during this run. It just wouldn't stop. And it's like, it's just going through. It's like, in a way, it's like Regeneron. Is it not, Kevin, dude? Just huge run up, then just stupid amounts of time of consolidation, retracing. And now it did break out. Lucked out on that because, most likely, it could have done what everything else did. But just gapped up. I don't know what to think about this gap up. You closed, there's kind of a resistance there. I think the next target, if it can hold above 72.80, I don't know if this will hold, dude. I mean, you're talking probably the next major target is 78.91 on Gilead. Excuse me. Okay, and if we're talking about long-term targets on this asset, if it's truly to continue on after all this consolidation, we're talking about...
Can I get a brew? Ooh, ooh.
Yeah, sure. PG Beats, man, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. Oh my god, he turned super chat back on. Yeah, dude. It's gotten quiet. So, if it's convenient for you, there you go, dude. You got the option. Alright. So, your common retrace targets on a channel this momentous, this large. I mean, this started in June of 2015. $84.47 to $99. Those are target area for, it to retrace and then reverse at one of these fib nodes. You got to give it time, man. Position trade. This isn't like this is kind of like a gold thing. I mean, this is like, you just got to, oh, we're showing accumulation higher lows. This one isn't really, like from this low to this low, but kind of did on the tail end, and it's really the geometrical breakout. And now I guess it's the Corona stuff, and I think they were like coming out with maybe some like form of treatment or not cure for coronavirus, something that is helping in that fight. Okay. 6, I'm glad you like it, dude. You're the first one I think to even talk about it. Trent says if we can close right in the zone, we'll have potential bullish divergence. Maybe, yeah. But the thing is, we need more data because that negative momentum still building on the 4-hour, right? It has not matured. It doesn't look weak. And normally, when you get that bullish divergence, you're really looking for a bullish Japanese candlestick with it, right? That's that combo. Whew. Weird champ. Yeah, I do. Weird champ. Squad W. Monk ass. Pogs. Everything, dude. You name it. Thanks for the 715 people here. If you're enjoying the live stream, hit that like button, that bell, that sub as we just wait on Bitcoin's daily candle close. We got 22 minutes, so stick around for that. We're just going across the markets. You want to see? Let's just take a look at Tesla. That also was not immune to the selling pressure today. Not at all. Where is my stuff? Oh, maybe it's on the wrong exchange. Just hit enter. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So the 3618 chat is the Stonewall. It is the Kang. 3618 fib extension. Tesla touched it twice, exceeded it twice intraday, but not once in history has Tesla broken and held above $938. That is clearly the wall right now. Yeah, nice gap down today, and so if the selling continues tomorrow, maybe the gap fills at $800. Down 7.46% today. Remember the right angled and descending broadening formation, the same one kind of looking like Domino's Pizza? Yeah, man. It's kind of miraculous though, for how high it's gotten and how little effect it has, but I guess not, because we know that Tesla has a low beta, and beta is the sensitivity to the macro, sensitivity to, the major indices. Okay, low beta. So not gonna be as affected. And that's actually kind of bullish too, that response. Not ever gonna say like taking along there makes sense. I mean, if anything, look dude, look at this high on price and then this higher high on price, lower levels of relative strength, lower levels of positive Momo.
Happy birthday to me.
Emperor Naruhito. Oh yeah, Naruhito. Yeah, Japanese emperor. What's up, dude? Happy birthday. Now, what's gonna happen soon? Thank you, dude. We'll do it, I guess, right, chat? I gotta get this hook back up. Gosh dang. It's so easy to do, too. Happy birthday to the Japanese emperor. Their market was unaffected by the steep drops today around the world because of his birthday. I'm sure they will get a hangover, certainly. Beta info. Yeah, you don't think you're gonna. Yeah, you're not gonna get the Greeks on TradingView. I don't think. I've never looked for there. Maybe you would. Dang, it doesn't have the Greeks on here. Dude, you can go anywhere online. I mean, like, if you have a brokerage, like Schwab or something, you can go there and you can find anything about the asset. Like, they even have write-ups and stuff. Depending on who your broker is, that's what those fees were for. Like quality and research that they do for you, so you can just read about this and you don't have to dig as much. And I guess millennials don't care so much about, all that, the amenities that these brokerages offer. They go to Robinhood and they're just like $5. That's a lot to them, so they don't care about a $5 commission on each trade. Or I guess they did, right? In lieu of the nice research that the brokerages would do for you. So anyway, you just go to Google and type in Tesla Greeks or beta or whatever. Okay. Too many resources probably. We're all talking about hunger strikes, huh? Papa John's hunger strikes. Y'all are literally losing it. Okay, so Parabola. Let's go to I don't even know if I have saved work on this one. No, I don't. Look at Virgin Galactic gap down, opened the day at 29.66, fell to 29 bucks, rallied to a high of the day at 36.65, and ended up closing at 34.29. It's actually up 2.86% after hours at 35.27. There is a gap fill. I mean, they're on both sides, but the gap fill, I guess you never truly did fill it. 37.29. Close though, very, very close. Dude, I have no idea how this is gonna go, but this is just one of those stupid high flyers where we could do a parabola line if you want. You can't even, I don't think you can do fib extensions here, man. It doesn't even make sense. It's like too far gone. Like from this high to low, you don't get anything. Ooh, log scale. Maybe log scale would be, we could get a outer fib extension like a 4236. 2618. Oh, sweet mother of God. If you look at Virgin Galactic holdings and log scale and use Fibonacci and log, this is where you are showing chop and a potential reversal. 35.89. So this could be it. All right, you could sell off, flag, consolidate, and then run again. And the next target would be 67.45, the 3618, which is, you know, in linear scale, that's where Tesla is. And then above 67.45, the 4236 is pretty much $100, $99.63. Could you imagine, chat? Imagine Virgin Galactic at $100. Where's Space Jason when you need him, dude? This is his baby or something, right? Back to me. What are you talking about? What's up, Jurgen, dude? Bradford, Stay at Home Kangs, Crypto 2 times. You misspelled boy. Gabo. All right. If you do want to talk about just the Greek tragedy today for S coins, when it looked promising this weekend, everything looked dude. You know, it was like disclaimer on everything, dude. Bitcoin fails, this will all fail too. So here it is. You're right at that 200 moving average. Yeah, like someone was saying earlier, the divergence. Trent was saying the divergence on Bitcoin could develop if we really, and the thing is, it would actually be bullish convergence, because if this was the bottom at 95.89 on Bitcoin, where traders settled up on the last valley was 95.54, so it's like a higher list. That's good. That's a slight amount of accumulation. We just don't know if the selling's done yet on Bitcoin, and the last 15 minutes of the day are upon us. It's here. You do not really want to close bearishly engulfing, and you really do want to close inside the channel, which we're very close to it. So this falling wedge breakout with the divergence, powerful combination of variables for a trade. It ran up, hit resistance, Bitcoin failed, the macro failed, so XMR failed. Every single alt is gonna fail if Bitcoin fails. Sorry, man. We've been going. I'm just sifting through chat a little bit. Hey, thanks for the new Twitter followers. Wow. CTS Stray Dog. Thank you, dude. Your friend told you that Ripple is an S coin, Hawk. Is that true? I mean, Ripple is just like the company. You know, XRP is the utility token. So yeah, XRP is very much so an S coin. Yeah, I mean, that's okay. The only people that get offended are those who are emotionally invested, because I would call XMR an S coin. I'd call ZRX an S coin. IOTA, XLM, 88, they're all S coins, dude. Like, whatever. Be offended. What's up, Laszlo? Good to see you again. Thank you. Yeah, Amazon fell below $2,000, back below all-time highs. Yeah, very bad. Very bad day for all equities. Mega cap, tech, you name it, man. Every sector in the S&P, all 11 were down today. A lot of people think that, MS. Tons of people do. And there's like this ongoing cultural, psychological war between the haters and the lovers. It's wild, man. It's like tribalism. Sorry, man. I don't like this part of the... So yeah, dude, you pick an S coin, it looked promising, it had a rally, and then dumped because the one coin to rule them all beckoned these alts to get wrecked. Binance coin, alright, you broke out, you sold off, you're not making lower lows yet. Alright, you're actually still making higher lows, and there's a critical support at $21.52. If you look left, you can see previous overhead resistance from November of 2019. You want to hold. Truly want to hold here. I mean, it's almost like, you know, really scuffed looking head and shoulders, man. Not really. Just make the higher low here. Like, back test this area and never fall below it, and this could go much higher. I still think the targets, if the macro, which I don't know, Bitcoin, we know there's not much value on Bitcoin here. 23% retrace is not very valuable. I don't care who you are. Okay, so like if Bitcoin goes to the upside, BNB would pivot here and run to the upside and hit these targets. If Bitcoin dumps and goes down to more, you know, better value areas between 8,000 and 8,800, 8,900 or whatever, okay. Well then BNB is just never going to hold this support. It's going to dump to much lower prices. It's very simple. Yeah, Jeremy, but that hasn't really happened. And if it does happen, it's very temporary. It's like, oh my God, one will decouple, then it'll come back, right? It'll correct, it'll sell off, people will take profit, lots of it, and it'll go through a 6-month plus correction, and it'll get back in sync with Bitcoin. So I don't think we've really seen a true decoupling in the cryptosphere from Bitcoin yet. Not real, not really. I mean, again, it's like, if they do, it's only for like a week or a day or whatever, right? A cycle. We're never gonna see prices above 10K again, chat. Remember the meme? Why did y'all not keep that going? I thought we had something we were doing yesterday. Well, thanks for the nearly 800 people hanging out, you know, lurking. Most of y'all. I mean, dudes, this could go on all day. Everything started playing out. These patterns that were viable, potential small little trades, and they failed. And even here with this, right, that 200-day or that 200 moving average, you're holding above it, and you could be showing bullish divergence on engine, right? It's all about Bitcoin. I wish it wasn't, dude. I wish I didn't have to look at these altcoins and be like, hey, look, dude, if, you know, Bitcoin dumps, this won't play out. But it's almost a disclaimer. It's like, I should just have a button on my stream deck where I push the button, and it's like, we're looking at a coin. It's like, nothing will matter, okay, if this bullish setup, if Bitcoin dumps. Just disclaimer, so I don't have to say it every time. Okay, but still hope on this one. Engine, right? The critical support is 11.3 cents. 200 moving average, staying above that's fantastic. The last time we touched the 200 moving average on the 4 hour was January 23rd. It's been a minute. I mean, it's been a whole freaking month. And again, like, look, man, a low, a slightly lower low, maybe you get that MACD divergence. So it's not over for Engine until you really, with confirmation and follow through, fall below 11.3 cents. Okay, Engine's still alive. Poor ONT, man. I mean, this one's still alive. This one's fine. It's not stopped out. This is the dragon pattern. I mean, it's making higher lows still. This, if Bitcoin runs to the upside and rallies and doesn't dump to lower prices, this will play out, right? We'll see 98 cents eventually. We could see $1 if we can break that major overhead resistance. Looking left, don't worry about it. But for now, the trade setup isn't dead.
Trying out a brave tip. Hit like and subscribe everyone. Love you, Mitch. You're my everyday friend. Gonna join Patreon next month, woohoo kangs.
Is that a join?
16.37139683 bad.
Claudio, did you do the tip that you just sent? Is that Brave browser? I'm confused. I don't get that. Or you mean like you're just tipping me in BAT and you're gonna try it? Because I'm not confused, and because I don't really know how it all works. So thank you, man, for 420, and thank you so much for just all the Ethereum classics. They've appreciated stupid, ungodly amounts, right? Thank you, dude. All right, yeah, I never touched them, man. You sent them to me back when they were like $3-4. They're still there. Okay. Sitting at like 939. So, and I don't care where it goes to. It's gonna stay. That's the rule. But dude, this is fine. Holy crap, this is fine. You don't want to fall below the 200 moving average. You really don't want to start making lower lows now. Okay, the dragon. Neo. Look at this one, dude. Descending triangle. This was a different one, right? This looked it was not similar to all the other altcoins that had these down-sloping resistances, had truly, with confirmation, broken them, right? Their supply lines. This didn't. At that supply line, it failed and engulfed bearishly, and we're getting fall through price action. So $13.45 is your previous high from November of 2019, October of 2019, a double top up there. You're below that right now. You've got to get back above that area, or it could be bad news for Neo. All right. That's it. It was like there was a buy wall with distribution, and you could never break out. So close to that measure move, yet so far away. Bitcoin goes to 98.50 again. Am I bullish, dude? I need some sort of, like, you have to understand what, we got 5 minutes left. We're just gonna go to Bitcoin now. All right. I mean, you gotta understand between 9,600 and 99.50 is just this historical major support resistance area. Whichever way Bitcoin decides, it's chopping. It's been churning between this area since January 20th. For an entire month, for the most part, you've just been consolidating, chopping up and down, churning in this very critical historical overhead support resistance zone. So whenever market participants figure out, all right, what side is the resounding break gonna be? To the downside or the upside? I don't know. Right, because it's almost like every day you're breaking above all of them, and then the next day you're breaking below all of them. It's awful, right? Mysteries abound. 96.69. I mean, you were on the cusp of breaking out for the first time. You really don't. You don't want to see a bearish engulfing candle either. Like, TA doesn't tell you everything. TA helps you set up trades. It doesn't tell you like to predict the future. It gives you an edge on the market so you can, right? So you can beat other market participants. It's better than just randomly picking, oh, I like this thing here because of this number, right? You use a bunch of coinciding variables. Right now, the coinciding variables aren't really there like they were before, down at lower levels, at high levels of value, 65% retraces, golden zone. Guess what? This was also its own golden zone up here, 14K-ish, 13.6, 13.8. Bitcoin loves the golden zone. So if we're talking about the past two huge cycles, like where Bitcoin rallied last year, 618, where it sold off to, corrected for 7 months, 618, 65% retrace, golden pocket. Okay, so you would think if history did repeat itself, that means that Bitcoin would go eventually to $8,000. But again, you can't really look at it like that way at all. I mean, because it's just something that's happened in the past two times, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen this time, okay? You'd have to have the exact same market participants. There's always different market participants, so. I mean, as it stands, look, you're just right there. Crypto says it's amazing how much you've learned just from watching the videos every day. Can't wait to join the Patreon. Thanks, dude. Really appreciate the consideration. Yeah, man, it's like, all the education I do on here is for free, but if you want the clips, the educational clips, they're all on the Patreon for your convenience. Hand it to you. CQ, and thanks for the 2, dude. We do not. No, we actually do have a definite high, just based on the fact that we've hit a 23% retrace, right? You don't have a real high until you go from your low point of the rally to the high point. So we have, but it's just super freaking shallow, and uncommonly assets bounce off this area. Commonly, they run down to these areas and then bounce, not this one. Though, if there's overwhelming amounts of demand on the asset, it has happened before and could happen again, where this asset would hit a 23% retrace, churn there, and then eventually bounce off of it, and then run to the upside to higher prices. Okay. Now, I was with you on that until we finally hit the 236 on February 17th. I was saying the same thing. We don't even know if this is the right swing high yet. Okay. Yeah, Vix is king. Yeah, dude. Hey, did the what was it? The XIV. Y'all remember that a couple of years ago? Largest spike in volatility in stock market history. I think it was January 2018. The XIV that inverses volatility got liquidated because it lost 70% of its value in one day. And on the prospectus of the XIV, that was like a rule. It was like, if we ever do this, we're done. You'll be paid like severance. The remaining amount of shares will just be divvying out to people. Yeah, dude. Read up on that. You didn't know. That's what algorithms have done to this market. They've made volatility almost inexistent until that one day. All right, we've done it, chat. A new day is upon us. We've made it. Jesus chimes? Sure. In this dark, trying, troubling time, right? We will survive, chat. We will survive.
Bruh.
What's up, Anderson? Oh, yeah, sorry. Did I not do that already? Not bad. Maybe I'm double doing it. I don't even remember doing it, so there it is. Hi, can you do space? We already did, TJ. You can rewind. We have DVR. An amenity that is offered. So you rewind, you look for this asset that looks like it's a straight line up. That's probably it. It might be Tesla, though. So it was done kind of closer to the beginning of the stream. See any money coming out of stocks into Bitcoin, Peter? I mean, normally when there's, people are getting scared on the stock market, normally people aren't using crypto, a highly speculative, immature, unregulated market, to hedge. Okay, so, I mean, but the thing is, I'm saying that, but that doesn't mean that money wouldn't come into Bitcoin and it's uncorrelated and has nothing to do with that, right? Because Bitcoin or crypto, for that matter, is so illiquid compared to all the other markets. It doesn't take much to push prices higher. It really doesn't. No, we didn't. Excuse me, look at Ethereum. No. Ethereum, what the heck? Oh, yeah, it was in the 4 hour. Yeah, just a symmetrical triangle. Not much movement today, really. I mean, yeah, it sold off some, but again, the selling was gobbled up, and it was a higher low than the previous low, than the previous low before, than the previous low. It's just consecutive higher lows, yet now something's changed that we hadn't been seeing in the subtrend, lower highs. So we have something called price contraction going on, and that is just where, the bid and ask spread is shrinking, and people are starting to think it's a more and more fair price, but eventually, when you get closer and closer to the apex of this pattern, the probability increases that a break to the upside or downside would happen. Okay, one side will relent. Not sure which one it is. Dude, this thing is like the most neutral pattern you could dream of. Okay, it could go either way. Symmetrical triangles. Really good. Now, if you want to measure move, 100% measure move to the upside downsides, certainly we can do that for just targets, right? Food for thought. 100% measure move to the upside if it does break out. God, dude. $331. No way, dude. No way. Breaks the downside. $100% measurement of the downside is 207.69. It's a pretty large pattern. So, these patterns can be shorted, can be longed. People, the lowest risk for a short would be at the supply line of the pattern, and the lowest risk for a long would be at the demand line of the pattern, the upsloping support. Support, resistance. You get it? You could also use Fibonacci if you wanted for targets, where you go, if it goes to the upside, you go from the height of the structure to the low point. You get targets, 301, 308, 319, the 1618. All right, you can go that way. Or you can go low to high to get targets down here. Just so happens the 100% measured move of this symmetrical triangle is confluent with the 1.618, the golden mean ratio, at 207. I mean, it lines up perfectly, like to Jesus, man. There's your Ethereum. Hope that helps. Thanks for the $2, CQN. The Nikki, Mr. Loaded. Does this indicate anything on the close? It's nebulous, right? Jeez. It's like you were so close. Whoa. It was just right at it. I mean, by the looks of it, you did you did break out, I guess. Barely. It's there, though. So it's the first time in this entire uptrend where you've had a candle close intraday breakout, right? We've had intraday price action outside of it, but now it's kind of broken. And you did bearishly engulf, but it wasn't the strongest engulfing because it didn't close at session lows, which was down at like 94.70 or something. Okay. To a fish head, man.
Thoughts on spread? Some nice spinning tops. Short? Thoughts?
Dangerous, right? I mean, maybe. Breakout. 2014 highs. 2017 highs. Getting acquired by T-Mobile. And that is. It's caused this insane catalytic breakout on record volume. Good short opportunity. Be careful, man, because like even if you're gonna, it sells off, it could be it's almost certainly a breakaway gap. I mean, meaning it won't fill this gap for a very long time. So, dude, remember, you're like a good shorting opportunity. Your reasoning for going short would be only because it's of a stupid amount in a short period of time on an acquisition, and it's not below the overhead resistance, it's above it. So what if it backtests and then runs again and kills you? Right? When we look for shorting opportunities, these are not normally the ones we look for. That's a scalper's thing, and maybe scalpers out there can help you. But what I do on a daily time scale, you know what we like. We like coinciding variables. We like assets that have had big run-ups, 78, 88% retraces. They are also showing bearish divergence on the oscillators, preferably on the weekly and daily. They're at fib extensions. This one is not really like that, though I could understand why someone would think this is awesome for a potential short. You just got to be careful because this may have changed the game completely. Okay, bots all of a sudden go on the bull side. I mean, everything, dude. Everything could be just different now. So yeah, maybe if you can somehow get below $9.67 and we can get an up thrust and fail, sure. But again, you don't have any other variables on your side, right? So if you're going to be trading, what are your variables? Those are the ingredients for your baking, right? So what would be your argument via technical analysis on a trade, right? Tell me that. You don't have divergence. You're overbought, but that's it. Huge run up, that's it. You're above resistance, not below it. Maybe we could see, talk about it tomorrow or the next day if we ever fall below $9.67. But an asset that with all the selling, Dow Jones closing down $1,000+ third time in history. This didn't barely budge, did it? Nope. So very strong with all the market tumult, which means it's strong, dude, right? Those are normally the ones, if it's outperforming the macro at the time, and those are not ones to be shorting, right? Anyway, yeah, I get it. Crazy RSI, absolutely. But the RSI can remain stupid, especially on acquisitions like that. That's a huge catalyst, man. Clearly. He could set a tight stop. I mean, sure, yep. You'd probably want to have the stop, though, above if it was going to be shorted, which, again, I don't think there's enough variables for, the cake baking would be, you put something in with very little variables, it's going to come out with not much, right? Well, yeah, the same thing, it's like...
Okay, nothing. What do you think about Papa John's? Variables rising wedge, same top candlestick, weekly showing bearish divergence.
Oh, yeah, dude, I like this one, man. Look. Yes. This one's at a golden retrace. This is a bearish butterfly. I like the 1414, even though I know that this thing could go up to the 1618 because on a butterfly, the PCZ is between the 1272 and the 1618. So it could certainly go up to $74. But I like the confluence of the major high to low that gives you the 618, the golden retrace. That is confluent with the 1414 fib extension. What else did you say? Rising. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not looking at it as a rising wedge, but yeah, it kind of looks like a rising wedge right at the top, right? This little pattern created, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, it had this little up thrust. Yeah. So we got coinciding variables now, right? Fishhead. I know we looked at this with patrons. I definitely remember doing this. Okay, so you say weekly showing bearish, even better, dude, right? I don't even know if I looked at the weekly. Somewhat, right? Somewhat of bearish divergence, maybe. Just know there's no like little bit of resistance right there. Major ones kind of up here. So yeah, this is a potential reversal point, but I don't know. The weekly divergence is kind of right. Normally looking for like a high. I mean, this is bearish divergence for sure, right? A high on price, a higher high. Just still so much positive Momo, but maybe on the wedge, you know, this right here could be. Yeah, again, it's not that good, but it's there. I see what you're saying. I just really like the daily here with the confluence of the Fibonacci, the high to low, and the fib extension of the butterfly. Okay, nice one, fish head. What, pizza? Okay, chat. Well, I've been live like an hour and 11 minutes. You know how it is, man. When there's not like crazy live price action, I'm go live. Make sure you got a better understanding of maybe the markets at hand, what's going on. Throwing out stats, looking at all the markets. But we can look at one more that I didn't look at, just to put it to bed. Oh, this one, dude. Alright, we're talking about WTI. It's crude oil. Right? It sprung, is kind of back testing the spring a little bit.
Is that a joint?
Hi Mitch, can you take a look at heaven and give me your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought we did that like yesterday or something. Yeah, I mean, wow, it didn't get destroyed, which is good. We looked at this. Teva Pharmaceuticals had a big correction and kind of double bottom down here, had some nice divergence, convergence. Hidden bullish divergence, you kidding? Bull pull, bull flag, the measured move was 1430 that just happened to be confluent with the gap fill. You just never got there. What's up, Payne? Thanks for the sub. All right, you hit the 382 high to low, 38% retrace and no higher yet. So close to that gap fill and measured move. And you know, after you've hit the 382, that is part of the golden zone, right? This is where like commonly an asset will, you know, it'll retrace and then reverse at one of these fib nodes. It has reversed at the 382, but not by much. And today it didn't have a very bad response. I mean, this actually performed very well compared to the major indices, right? So again, you think the target's still 1430. If you break that, you know, 1598, that's the 50% retrace, and the golden retrace is 1834. Okay. You got an issue though. Terrible trend, right? It's an overall bearish trend. That's not really good. Okay. So oil, very close to breaking. I mean, this isn't good, right? Lack of demand for the asset has caused it to sell off again. Though it does seem like, yeah, man, might be a good value area if this thing breaks for real. I mean, you're talking probably like these lows, right? Every time this trend line's broken, I mean, look, support, like it's support or resistance, 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 resistance over and over and over. Now support, support, support. If it breaks this based on history, you'd probably see 43 bucks. Right? It's almost like every time it runs up and fails to hit that, it goes down to 43 bucks or lower before rallying again. So crude could very well be in a lot of trouble if the macro stays weak, and even in the macro being extremely strong, all-time highs, record, bull run. Pathetic, right? Too much supply, too many methods to, you know, the fracking, you just kind of kill the oil, dude. Oil like demand anyway, because just again too much supply. I mean, U.S. is now the major exporter of oil. Anyway, I hope that helps. Crypto Steve, thanks for 420 again. Okay, so now I think we are caught up. I think, you know, it's like I always have an agenda when I go live, and it's to kind of just give you a little bit of clarity across the markets of what's going on and what we can see tomorrow. We know the stat about the 222 times that the S&P 500 in a single day has gone down 5%. We know on average of all those, before the rally and the recovery, it follows through and goes down like 7 more percent. So more selling could occur tomorrow, especially with how weak. There was no resounding bounce today, not at all. So buckle up. So, thanks so much for all the likes, the love, the support, the contributions, everything. Y'all are amazing. It feels like a dream every day being able to do this with you. And definitely is a blessing. So, thanks for the 700 people who I'm saying goodbye to. I'll be back if something insane happens. But you know how it is, right? Safe travels across all the markets. Till next time, respect the TA.
I have